I'm Sara Mintrone. I'm the Group Chief Marketing Officer of Dedalus. Today, we are going to take you in a little, let me say, trip towards the Dedalus ways to electronic health record. But before to start, let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you know how many patients are suffering of wounds during their hospitalization? Is generally agreed that is about the 70%. And do you know how much time nurses are dedicating to wounds management? Again, generally agreed the 30%. And do you know how much time within the time dedicated to wounds management nurses are dedicating to document the wounds? The 50%. Why I'm telling you this information? Because as Dedalus, we are able to measure the value we deliver to our clients. We have a specific program we call Dedalus Ways to Value, through which we are able to measure the processes before the adoption of our software and after the adoption of our software. And what we measured for the wounds management is quite impressive. Thanks to our solutions, the nurses are reducing of the 50% the documentation time for wounds management. This is an enormous amount. And if you consider that when we host our solutions into the AWS Cloud, we can even improve the overall performances of the 40% in terms of time to serve. You can understand how big is the value we can give back to our clinicians. I said 50% less time of documentation. This means that we are giving back to nurses the 25% of the nursing time that previously was spent in wounds management to care patients. They have more time to interact with the patient, to talk with the patient, to treat more patients. This is a very important amount. And we are talking just about wounds management. That is one of the many tasks we manage through electronic health records. So you can do the math on your own, how much a solution that is tailored to save time and to reduce the administrative burden can improve the life of users. We are Dedalus. We are the leader in the European market in terms of electronic health record and the third largest worldwide, accordingly to the Class Research Global EMR market share. We support over 7,000 healthcare organizations around the world for about 470,000 beds supported through our solutions for an overall population served of 540 millions of people around the world. And we do these fantastic things thanks to an incredible team of 7,700 people, of which the 38% is dedicated to research and development across 40 countries. And thanks to our presence in such a big number of countries, we know very well the issues and the challenges of the healthcare ecosystems. And I'm sure the things I'm going to say are very well known from each one of you and are resonating with the problems you deal with every single day. The workforce scarcity, the need to reach and engage more and more citizens, the research of efficiency and effectiveness of operations, the need to adapt quickly to new rules and legislations, the need to build a resilient approach to cyber attacks, and faster, but not for importance, faster execution to adapt to continuous changes that happen in our world. Working with AWS for us is very important because we are able to combine our specificities to better approach the world and the market. So we can combine 40 plus years of history in healthcare digital solutions with the encompassed hyperscale cloud approach AWS can provide. And so together we can deliver solutions that are helping customers facing the challenges and the issues of multiple healthcare ecosystems around the world. And we are not only on electronic record, we are working on the whole offer of Dedalus. So clinical systems, of course, but as well analytics with artificial intelligence and machine learning, patient and clinician experience, medical research, giving a second chance for the operational data we use every day, finance and operation, and core health IT. Always with a very strong focus on security and compliance, because we live in a world where these things are very, very important. I mentioned before the presence in over 40 countries. This thing gave us a very clear direction in our work. We understood very well that there's no one size fitting all. We really understood that there is a need for a differentiated offer serving different markets. And for this, through Dedalus Ways to EHR, we are able to provide and to offer to our clients an international and awarded presence all around the world, and specifically through two solutions, Dedalus Orbis and Dedalus Care. We are targeting very different markets, from aging populations to growing population, from very infrastructured geographies to less infrastructured geographies. And these solutions are very, let me say, well recognized, and specifically this morning we achieved a very important award, the Best in Class award for the acute care EHR in the DACH region and in Southern Europe. And here you can see just very few names of our precious customers, from APHP, the largest European hospital in Europe, based in Paris, the Asclepios Group, University of Bonn, University of Frankfurt, the overall Upper Austria region. As well, for Dedalus Care, Salud Madrid is the healthcare organization of the province of Madrid in Spain, the Ministry of Health in Panama, the Aviva Group in Peru. So just very few names. But let's dive a little bit into these two solutions. Dedalus Orbis. Dedalus Orbis is today serving more than 1,000 hospitals in Europe. And it consists of more than 40 different integrated clinical modules that are covering all the processes within the daily business of healthcare providers, from high acuity care to regular care to medical controlling, patient administration, clinical services, medications, but as well everything is related to e-health and patient-related functionalities. Orbis has a clear scope of reducing administrative tasks, documentation, increasing coordination, increasing the time to care for providers to focus better on better services and better outcomes. What is important for the Orbis is the Orbis U approach, through which we are reinventing the user experience. I said user experience, not user interface. It's not just about user interface, it's the way you interact with the users. So we are working with clinicians, redefining per each persona and each setting what are really the way to interact between them and the electronic health record. So we can really say that Orbis U is designed by clinicians for clinicians. And thanks to AWS, we are really meeting the challenges of the future in this domain. Again, a little bit down on Dedalus Care. Dedalus Care scope is to allow a rapid deployment, strong user satisfaction, and limited cost. Is designed to support easy and quick adaptation to local healthcare regulation and organizational models. It includes a very wide variety of proven models with a large multinational install base that are continuously improved thanks to a dedicated research and development team across countries and healthcare ecosystems. And as I said, the scope of Dedalus Care is absolutely wide, from functionalities to support the hospital and the beyond the hospital, innovative scheduling everywhere, clinical pathways to improve treatment quality and efficiency, as well as virtual care and telemedicine capabilities, full enterprise resource planning support, and all the functionalities in mobility to support the different users working during their activities. So we understood there are very special needs in different parts of the world, but all the healthcare ecosystems have common needs. And again, I'm sure I'm going to say things that are very clear for you all. Altogether, we have the common needs to be resilient from cyber attacks. We need to be scalable for fast reaction. We need to be efficient in terms of operation. And we need a clear statement around the sovereignty on our data. And we are very happy to collaborate with AWS because we are sure that AWS is the right answer to all those common needs. And I want to complete my presentation sharing with you a case study about the migration to AWS of a certain number of NHS hospitals. We started with this challenge. So the challenge was moving out from a legacy co-located data center to refresh the hardware used by our clients to maintaining reliable access to patient records. The constraints were about to create an environment with increased productivity for clinicians while creating a minimal clinical impact. They could not stop to work, of course. The solution has been the migration of 43 hospitals and clinical care facilities formerly hosted in Dedalus data center into the AWS. And the results are quite impressive. We are talking about a migration completed in 10 months with a minimum clinical impact. We improved every kind of performance, but let me just highlight this one. We reduced of the 50% the time to execute the longest running report. We enhanced disaster recovery and testing. We validated failover in seconds and the total system availability in minutes. But what matters most is the voice of our client. Here we have the words of Lee Rickles. He is the Care Record Program Director and CIO at Yorkshire and Humber NHS Trust. And let's read together. There are a wealth of benefits that come from moving applications to the cloud. We are seeing reduced costs, better security and reliability, as well as greater flexibility, performance, scalability, and availability. The migration has been collaborative across the trust, partnering with Dedalus with minimal disruption. I think there's no better way to testify the huge success and the incredible results of these activities run together with AWS. So really, to conclude, thanks to the Dedalus ways to EHR, and together with AWS, we are able to provide tailored global solutions to support your local issues and challenges. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you have some questions for me.